What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Fox Den, and today we are going to work on the brakes on the blue Turd and try and get them finished. This is going to be a very haggard job. I already know that, but that's how I usually do things, and if it's reliable, solid, and works, it passes. Please be gentle. Enjoy. Alright, so we got some more finishing touches to put on the blue Turd. This one's going to be pretty haggard, and it's in relation to the brakes. We have some threaded rod. So when I rebuilt the drivetrain of this thing, this brake cable ended up not reaching the new brake setup. You can see that's as far as it goes, so we have to make this longer to reach this. We're going to have to cut here and weld this in. Threaded rod, we're going to weld it in to make it longer. It's actually not an uncommon thing to do, but it's pretty haggard. But I'm not going to be able to find a longer cable for this particular go-kart. I mean, they're all similar, but this one's got a bunch of weird bends in it and stuff, so this is not really going to be something that I can just order online. This is going to have to be pretty custom. I'm also going to have to be careful not to put the welds too close to the, I don't know what you want to call that, the hanger, because if the welds get hung up on that, it's not gonna, the cable's not gonna work properly. Now the cable's pulling this way, but still, I don't want to risk that. So we have to measure how much longer we need it. So we're gonna get the brake kind of in the position I want it, right about there. We want the brake to be in the non-braking position, so that puts us, looks to be exactly 4 inches. So we have to extend this another 4 inches. We have to cut 4 inches off of this long piece and add it to this. And hopefully I don't ruin the new paint job, but something tells me I probably will. I should have done this before I painted it, but of course I didn't find this out until after I painted it. So I remeasured, and it turns out I actually needed 3.5. I'm glad I double checked, because the brake was not in the proper position, so I'm actually going to cut it just above 3.5 just to give me a little bit more room for error. Tell you what, it is a really crappy day out today. It is cold, it's rainy, it's like a mist. Here goes nothing. Alright, so let's see if I did this correctly. I think I've nailed it. So now we have to cut the brake cable, or the brake rod. Alright, so it has been cut, so we just have to weld this in. Alright, so now we gotta weld the piece in. Alright, so it looks really crappy, but it is strong. Welding to small pieces like this definitely isn't my strong suit. Probably going to have to repaint half the go-kart, but you know what? It'll be fine. As you can see, lines right in, so we just got to get a pin in there and all that good stuff. I don't have one, so I'm probably going to rob it off my go-kart. so we can give this thing a test. And the seat has 2 bolts in it. Alright, so we're going to rob the pin out of my go-kart to test out the blue Turd. An update on the Juggernaut drive, I did replace the rear clutch and it did absolutely nothing. So I'm not sure what the deal is. I have reason to believe it's might be the wrong belt. I've replaced this belt multiple times, and ever since then it just seems like that's kind of when the problems arise. That's something I'll experiment with next spring. Now both of these go-karts are Manco go-karts, so this should fit just fine. And there's no cotter pin on the bottom part of the band, but for testing purposes, shout out to Cars and Cameras, I will get another cotter pin. I think I have one somewhere around here, but I really don't feel like looking for it right now. And this thing fits on there really tight anyway, so I think it'll be fine just to test it. That's, I think, doesn't mean it will be. So let's see how these feel. Step on the pedal. Those dogs are psychopaths next door. It's kind of spongy. I thought it would be tighter than that. It does appear to work. They usually work better after they break in a bit. I don't know. I mean, I can can push the thing forward. Looks like it's not so perfect after all. Son of a bitch. Alright, I guess we gotta make it shorter. I thought this was fine, but brakes hardly do anything. I can push on the cart with the brakes fully on. Okay, so I didn't film that because that was extremely aggravating and there was a lot of cussing. So I had to extend it like another inch or so. You can see where I extended it. That's what we got. Obviously, I'm going to repaint this. The brakes are nice and strong now, so that should stop it pretty well. So we are going to give this thing a test drive and see how the brakes work. The throttle cable is not hooked up yet. I might do that today. Alright, so the brakes work, but the band keeps sliding off the drum this way and giving us half the brake power because the setup is so loose. So I'm actually going to take a piece of conduit, weld it right there, and that'll keep it from sliding over. When I said this channel was going to be featuring some haggard builds, I wasn't kidding. The only thing that's not haggard in this garage is the car. But if it works and it's reliable, I'm totally fine with it. Of course, it starts pouring when I go to do this. So here's the piece I cut, and we're gonna weld it in, and I think the jury's out on test driving this thing now, but we'll see. Alright, so the question is, will it work? So far it looks like it's gonna work. I just kind of pushed it by hand, and because it was doing it even just pushing it by hand, it seems to be pretty solid. Should definitely solve the issue. We're gonna have to test drive it, but it's still raining, so we're gonna have to wait just a little while on that. Alright, so we took it on a test drive and it seems to have solved the problem, so that's really good. Probably gonna go back and weld it more, but other than that, it did work until the brake popped off this way, but that's because we don't have a cotter pin here like there should be, so that's not a big deal. So yeah, there's the next installment of getting this go-kart finished. Next video, we're gonna hook up the throttle cable, put a cotter pin in there in the brake, put on the grip tape, because I got some skateboard grip tape I'm gonna put there, and this go-kart will be about finished, and then it's just kind of cosmetic because the steering absolutely sucks. There's just, the radius is absolutely terrible. That's probably gonna have to all be redone. But yeah, that's it for now. Hope you guys enjoyed this haggard brake job, but it's gonna work. It's solid. That's just how I do things around here. I work with what I got, and looks like that's pretty solid. Even if it looks bad, if it's solid, if it works and it's reliable, I'm cool with it. So don't forget to follow me on Instagram at SilverFoxG37. Make sure you subscribe, join the Fox Pack today, and get your notifications bells on, because there's a lot more to come. And yeah, remember, life is too short to stay stock, and it's only illegal if you get caught. Stay foxy. Woo!